Donovan, thanks for joining us on VIP TV today. You're in the bubble there. Have you had your COVID-19 test, and you got to live by yourself now for 12 hours until Eddie knocks on the door and says, "Get out"?
It's a real pleasure, Steve. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm cooped up here now in my room, nice and relaxed. Had my COVID test and all, so we're due to get our results early in the morning. I think around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's actually not too bad. I mean, the rooms are great. The organisation and the professionalism of everything has just been absolutely spot on. Completely no stress, no strain, and just going to chill out here and hopefully get the results in the morning, and then we can hit the gym and do an old shakeout, But look, I'm delighted to be here.
So what do they do tonight? Do they just bring food to your door, knock on the door, you put your head round and take it in?
Yeah, well, I mean, the breakfast and the lunch are fairly standard, and they knock the door and leave them outside the rooms, and then you have a menu for the dinner. So there's the dinner menu is a little bit more substantial, if a lot more choice. Lunch is like a sandwich, and breakfast is like paninis and stuff like that. But I came prepared. I have all my own food ready, prepared and everything. So I have everything I need anyways. So, maybe when the fight is all over, there's a tasty looking burger on the menu. I might have that when the fight is all over. Friday night, maybe late Friday night, hopefully with the IBF super featherweight title around my shoulder. I tell you, a burger would never taste so good.
I mean, you touched on the title there. I mean, it must probably give you certainly a top 15 ranking with the IBF if you beat Zelfa. How important is this fight, given that you're 35 and you've been waiting for this chance? Despite your amateur career speaks for itself, but this is a different game. How important is this one?
It's very important, but you're right. It is a different game. My amateur career has served me so well all over the world, but it's a completely different game. It's prize fighting. There's one person, and I'm not preparing for a competition where I might have 5 or 6 opponents in a period of 10 days or whatever. I'm preparing for one man. One man stands between me and that top 15 world ranking, and that man is Zelfa Barrett, and he's a formidable opponent. He's a very good record. He's a very good fighter, good boxing IQ, good power, good footwork. Really knows his way around ring. He's a true fighter. So this is a massive test for me, but it's also a massive test for him. So it's talent meets talent. I think as a professional, he probably trumps me in terms of experience and in terms of who he's been in the ring with. But overall, my boxing experience is probably trumping him. I've boxed in the away corner more times in my life. I've been on the road more times in my life. He likes to box in the home corner, likes to have a big crowd cheering him on. He's not going to have any of that. So it's going to be a very intriguing fight. It's going to be a tough code to crack, but I am fully ready for this fight. I'm fully prepared, and I just really cannot wait to walk out there on Friday night and give it one good shot, because I have no excuses. I'm the best prepared I've ever been in my whole life.
You just said something there. This is, mate, what you meant by one good shot. Do you accept this might be your one crack at it to get to the top of the world?
Well, when I started out the professional journey, I was approaching my 31st birthday, and I remember one of the reasons for going back was I had too many regrets from my amateur career. I made too many mistakes, and I slipped up, all self-inflicted, of course. But and I was kind of like, I was kind of beating myself up a little bit, and it dawned on me then one day that, I kind of felt like, hey, I'm still young enough if I want to do something about it, and it was almost like unfinished business. So I kind of put one foot in front of the next and just kind of dipped my toe into professional boxing. And I said, it'd be great if I could get a shot at an Irish title, But once I started training again and started sparring and started getting called in to work with, the likes of Ryan Burnett, working with Steve Ormond, working with James Tennyson, Mark McGuire, like I started to kind of realize I had a lot more left and a lot more to offer, and the breakaway actually served me well. So I was probably setting the bar a little bit low for myself. So once I got the Irish title, I said I can definitely become a European champion. I never had any thoughts of world titles or anything. I just feel like I can possibly get a crack at a European title at featherweight and win it. So when this opportunity came up, my preferred weight is featherweight. But when this opportunity came up as super featherweight and the world ranking title, I didn't have to be asked twice. And I do know, because at 35, I'm not going to get a lot of options, and I can't really be fussy. So I had this, like, immediately I was like, yes, 100%, I will take that fight. Thank you very much, Mark. Mark Dunlop is my
he's a good man.
Thank you for doing this for me. Absolutely delighted. And I felt like this is my breakthrough now, and this is my chance. Is it my last chance? I don't know, but it's definitely, let's say Zelfa has more time than I have. But I don't want to put any deadlines on it, or, put any added pressure. I don't need that. What I will say is I'm loving boxing at the minute. Absolutely loving it. And this is my first chance to get a shot at the big time. And I'm fully ready for it. And that's all you can ask for when you get a shot. Many people get opportunities in their lives and they're not ready to take them. And I was one of them during my amateur career. I got plenty of opportunities, but I messed up. I wasn't ready. I wasn't disciplined enough, and I didn't take them. But this chance here, I'm fully ready for it. And there will be no excuses.
But you've already achieved quite a lot, because, you've gone through a lot in your life with drink and drugs. So, you've already achieved so much, haven't you? I mean, I dare say 5 years ago, you didn't think these chances would come, I don't think.
No, definitely not. And, that's the thing as well, where boxing kind of became my whole identity, dangerously so, where I kind of felt like, who's Eric? What's Eric's value system? What's his, purpose? Like, is he just a boxer? And at times I kind of felt like that's all I was. And boxing was I lost my integrity outside of the ring. So I was trying to use boxing to hold on to some sort of integrity or purpose in life. But now today, I'm a fully functioning human being. I have a lot of strings to my bow. I have an education to fall back on. I have a lot of choices and options in life. And so boxing is now enjoyable again. I'm boxing like I was when I was a young kid, expressing myself and enjoying it and loving it, because there will come a day when I'm going to have to hang them up. But now I don't have that added pressure of, I need to win this fight, or I need to hold on to my funding, or I need to get this win to qualify for, all that is gone. I just want to fight now against top level opposition. I'm good enough, I've prepared enough, and I'm ready. And let's see who wins, because I have a lot of answers still that need to be answered for myself personally. And I think Zelfa Barrett, there's a few people that want him to answer a few questions too. So I think next Friday night we're going to see, we're going to answer them.
Well, tell us a bit about the counselling you do, where you go around young schools. Is that sharing your experience of when you was on a path which, with drink and drugs, which, addiction's an illness. So when you pass that on, what pleasure did you get from that? Sharing your story.
It's one of my favorite jobs to do in the whole world. I'm a guest speaker on mental health and adversity and addiction and everything. And I called to these secondary schools all around Ireland. And first thing I say to the kids before I speak to them, I say, guys, I wish I had somebody come and talk to and tell me what I'm going to tell you when I was in school. And I didn't have that luxury, but you have. So I want you to really pay attention and listen. And the impact of it does be absolutely immense. It's incredible. The amount of young kids that text me afterwards and say, Eric, you told my story. I've been living my life like yours or whatever, and you've given me the courage and the confidence to ask for help. And to me, this is the most rewarding work of all. But then on a more personal level, I'm a qualified counselor, psychotherapist, so I would work with individuals on a one-to-one basis or in a group therapy setting. But at the moment, I've pulled back from that because I'm putting all of my focus into this fight and into my boxing career. But that's my future. That's the area I want to work in. I want to work with young kids, young athletes. There's a lot of people in a crisis today, across the UK and Ireland, and it's very, very sad. And I just think if I can use my story and my experience to help them, even if it's just one person, I think that's, my purpose fulfilled in life.
Fantastic. Back to the fight. Have you spoke to Ronnie Clark at all about the Zelfa fight? Because I know he was with Mark Dunlop, your manager, as well. I just thought it might. I know obviously he can't tell you how to win, but I thought Mark might have put you two together for a quick link up.
Yeah, I'd done about 70 rounds with Ronnie Clark there during training camp.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm only Joe. I'm
Ah.
actually only Joe. No, I know Ronnie had a great win against Zelfa Barrett. It was an unbelievable performance, and I watched it and I saw it, and it's obviously 2.5 years ago now as well. And Zelfa, it was a massive learning fight for Zelfa, and he wasn't completely outdone in the fight. It was a very competitive fight, but it was a massive learning fight for Zelfa. So like you can't really take too much from one sole loss on a career, but definitely I can take confidence from it, or I can take some learnings from it. But no, I haven't talked with Ronnie, but obviously I would have talked to Mark, and Mark has managed Ronnie during that fight. So yeah, we're confident. Like we're confident about this fight. We really are confident about this fight.
So can you give us a prediction how you going to win this fight on Friday night in the Garden?
Well, yeah, in the Matchroom Square Garden, my plan is to go out there and to use all of my experience, all of my skills. I have a plan A, B, and C. So I've something to an alternative if one plan doesn't work out. But it just goes back to the simplified boxing skills, fundamentals of boxing. I've got to get in there. I've got to hit him more than he hits me, and I've got to make sure that I look good while I'm doing it. And that's boxing for you. People complicate boxing sometimes, but it's very, very simple game. And you just have to make sure you're conditioned very well, that your stamina is on point, your mental strength is absolutely on point when you walk to that ring, and that there is no doubt in your mind. And then, of course, you can have your premeditated tactics going into the fight, but you have to be able to adapt to whatever threat is presented to you in the ring, because I can focus on Zelfa Barrett and say, oh, he's going to come in and he's going to do this, that, and the other. But Zelfa Barrett might come in and do something completely different. So that's why I don't focus on Zelfa Barrett. I focus on Eric Donovan. I focus on getting myself into the best possible position, upstairs, downstairs. And whatever eventuality faces me, I know I can adapt and overcome, because there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that I have left every stone unturned. And when I say this, there is no excuses. I genuinely mean this. I believe Zelfa Barrett is boxing Eric Donovan the best time Eric Donovan has ever stood up on two legs. The best Eric Donovan at 35 years of age. Even far better than I was as an amateur at my peak. Right now, I'm in my best form.
And before we let you go, the fights in the Garden for the last 2 weeks, we've had Terry Harper against Natasha Jonas, Sam Eggington against Ted Cheeseman. How can this fight match those?
Well, I think this fight is intriguing, and I think there's a lot of people talking about this fight, and it's probably not even getting as much exposure as it should be. But that's because the casual sport fans don't know enough about me, and because I went away from boxing for a long time. But the boxing people in the know are all talking about this fight. And this fight is massive in terms of, you've got a guy who has proven himself as an amateur, who went away from the game and is coming back with a very interesting story, a redemption story. And then you've got a guy who had not the most prolific amateur career, but a very good professional career, but still hasn't been tested to the very maximum. He stepped up to the plate against Ronnie Clark, came up short, but we're not going to hold that against him. He was young enough, 25, big learning fight, came back with 2 decent wins against Woodstock and Jordan McCrory. But then, are those guys world class, elite level? Probably not. Domestic level, So he has a lot of questions to answer. So have I. But he's talented. So am I. It's going to be a cracker. Tune in, because whatever happens, I think the fans are going to be the real winners. The viewers are going to be the real winners when it comes to this fight.
What more can I say, Eric? Absolutely fantastic talking to you, and what a gentleman you are. And send when Eddie lets you out of that room in the morning, send my best to Mark Dunlop, one of the nicest men in boxing.
I will indeed. Thank you very much, Steve, and enjoy your holiday. Appreciate it.
For all boxing info, news, and latest interviews, amateur and pro across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.